At some point in human life, almost everyone experiences it. Something that is not said, something that is held back, something that never fully leaves the mind, a thought that stays locked inside, a secret. It may be something small, something ordinary, something that seems unimportant to others, or it may be something heavy, something that changes the way a person sees themselves or the way they see the world. But whatever its form, it remains unspoken. Not because there was no chance to say it, but because something inside stopped it. And this leads to a deeper question. Why do humans keep secrets? Why do we choose silence when we could speak? Why are there things we never share, even with the people closest to us? To understand this, we need to go deeper, inside the human mind, inside emotion, inside memory, inside the invisible space where thoughts become private worlds. Because a secret is not just hidden information. A secret is control. And control is one of the most fundamental psychological needs in human beings. From the earliest stages of human evolution, control meant survival. Knowing what to reveal and what to hide could determine safety, social position, trust, even survival itself. In ancient human groups, information was power. Knowing something others did not know created advantage. Hiding vulnerability protected status. Withholding information prevented conflict. So over time, the human brain developed a filter, a boundary between thought and expression. Not everything inside the mind is meant to become spoken words. And this filter is what we now experience as secrecy. But secrets are not only about survival. They are also about identity. Humans do not simply live life. They construct themselves. A self-image, a personality, a version of who they are in the eyes of others. And not every thought fits that version. Not every emotion matches the identity we present. Not every experience feels safe to expose. So the brain makes a decision. This stays inside. And that is where secrets are born. But there is another layer beneath this. The human brain is not just a storage system. It is a prediction system. It constantly simulates outcomes. What will happen if I say this? How will they react? Will I be judged? Will I lose trust? Will I lose connection? And when the predicted outcome feels risky, the brain chooses safety, silence. Because the brain does not prioritize truth above all else. It prioritizes survival and emotional stability, and uncertainty feels like risk. So secrecy becomes a tool, a way to reduce uncertainty, a way to control possible consequences, a way to protect emotional safety. But secrets are also emotional. Many secrets are not kept because they are strategic, but because they are sensitive, painful, confusing, or too difficult to explain. Some experiences feel easier to carry alone than to translate into words. Because once something is spoken, it becomes real in a different way. It becomes exposed. It becomes vulnerable to interpretation, misunderstanding, judgment, or rejection. So silence becomes protection, a psychological shield, a private space where emotions can exist without external interference. But what we do not express does not disappear. Secrets do not vanish. They remain inside, in memory, in thought, in internal dialogue. And over time, they can begin to feel heavier, not because they physically change, but because they are never processed externally. The human brain processes emotion through expression, through communication, through sharing meaning with others. When something is spoken, it is organized. It becomes structured. It becomes lighter. But when something is kept inside, it remains raw, unshaped, unreleased. And sometimes it grows in emotional weight simply because it stays unresolved. Yet, even with this burden, humans continue to keep secrets. Why? Because secrecy also provides safety. It creates boundaries. It gives a sense of control in a world that often feels unpredictable. Not everything needs to be shared. Not every thought needs to become public. Not every emotion needs validation. Secrets create a private space that belongs only to the individual, a place where identity is not exposed, where vulnerability is not judged, where thoughts can exist without external pressure. In a world filled with social expectations, opinions, and constant exposure, secrecy becomes a form of protection, a way to preserve something deeply personal. But humans are also social beings. We are built for connection. We want to be understood. We want to be seen. We want to be heard. And here lies the internal conflict: the need to protect oneself and the need to be known, the need for privacy and the need for connection. Every human carries this tension. Should I say this, or should I keep it inside? Is it safe to share, or safer to stay silent? And in that space between silence and expression, secrets live. Not as exceptions, but as part of human nature. Because humans are not only beings who speak, we are also beings who withhold. We choose what becomes visible to others, and we choose what remains hidden forever. And perhaps that is what makes secrecy so deeply human. Because behind every person you see, there is always another world you do not see, a story never told, a thought never spoken, an emotion never revealed, and a secret known only to one mind.